Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's 6 a.m., April 13th, and price of Bitcoin currently at 67.23. Folks, the reason sometimes I start off my videos with the gains reviews is I want to show you guys, exactly how much benefit the community has been seeing by simply just being with us and trading with us. Okay, we're not the kind of community that's going to give you financial advice or tell you to buy or sell. That you need to do on your own. Okay, but what we do is we provide you good objective analysis to show you exactly what we are doing. Vassal and myself, who are the lead analysts of this community, how we trade markets and how we make money for a living. Okay, doing this for 11 years, I can tell you one thing. All right, patience and discipline pays off. Risk management pays off. Okay, not chasing move pays off. Okay, all these things are certain lessons that we've learned over time, and we teach this to our community as best as we can. Now, again, there's times that we're obviously going to get the trade wrong. Okay, that's just a fact of life. There is no single trader that I know who's uber successful that says that I have a 80% strike rate, meaning they get 80% of their trades right. Okay, it's just impossible. I don't think I've ever met anyone like that in my life. All right, but I have met traders who have a 45 to 50% strike rate and who can make millions. I'm talking about millions, okay? And here's the difference between a lot of retailers and them. Number one, they're not afraid to be wrong. Number two, they manage their risk. They keep their losers small and they know when to let their winners run. And number three, they do not FOMO. They wait patiently for their strategy, their levels to hit. If not, they walk away, they'll wait for the next trade. Okay. Now, with these gains reviews, I obviously want to show you guys, some of our trades as well that we picked up over the last day or two. All right. Number one, okay, here was one of our trades yesterday that we took, all right, which yielded in a loss. And I want to show you our losers so you can, you could judge us on our losers and see, okay, these guys know what they're doing. They got out at a small loss, all right? So here's the thing, okay? So I'm going to show you guys play by play exactly what we were doing, okay? So before all this happened, right, we were actually in a short somewhere from this area, and we chopped around. We were hoping that this area would actually break to the downside, but it wasn't breaking, right? In fact, it actually did the opposite. It actually went up, okay? But so you're probably wondering, okay, well, where did you get out, right? So we got in right here around 6,900 flat, somewhere around there, okay? And then as this candle right here pushed up, all right, past the key resistance level, and I'll show you guys how I mapped out these key resistance levels. I basically mapped out the highs of these wicks, okay? Highs of those wicks right there and the low of this wick right here. Now, again, this is all with experience. You have to understand how to draw ranges, how to draw key resistance levels and support levels, and then you get to understand which movement to the upside or the downside is more meaningful, or is it just noise, okay? So in this particular instance, on this particular candle right here, this green one right here, when you see it smashing through this level right here, that's the 6907, okay? This was the first area where we thought, all right, something is probably gonna go wrong, okay? Next candle, we see this candle printing above, not selling off aggressively. All right, this is where we got out. We said, no, thank you. We don't want any part of this. And we got out. And you can see right there, 68.95 entry and 69.24 or so was the exit. Okay, so about a $30 move, right? We lost out on a $30 move. And then here's the thing, right? After that, candles just blasted up, okay? But here's the thing, right? We didn't really have a plan for any of this, okay? So if we didn't have a plan for any of this, we just stay out. We don't chase the price. But guess what we did after, okay? Well, one thing that we knew is that number one, this is a key resistance level right here. 2020 yearly open, 7165 level, okay? Number two, all right? If you look at this descending trend line right here, look how closely price comes to that area. Okay, we didn't even breach past it. So based on 7165, the yearly open, based on this descending trend line right there, and I can even show you how far that trend line stretches back actually. let me show you guys real quick, okay? Let's pull up the 12-hour time frame. Look how far that trend line stretches back. You can see way back here, right? Way back here. We actually made almost a perfect touch. I mean, on the 12-hour it looks perfect, but in reality, it's really not, right? On the smaller time frame, it was like $30 away or something. But the fact of the matter is, this is a touch that comes back from way up here around 10,300, lower high right there, lower high right there. And now we touched it yesterday, and now it looks like we're starting to break down, okay? So the importance of looking at smaller time frames like this and then larger time frames with a bigger picture is just as important. Just like how it's important to get out of a trade when it's not working out and not chase price the other direction. In fact, we waited patiently. We waited patiently and we left some orders right here around 71.65. And actually, that's exactly what happened. If you can see, we got filled on our orders, 71.65 short orders filled. And I had mentioned this to my community, even in the Bitcoin analysis. I stated that I'm going to leave some orders at 71.65. Okay, so as you can see right there, 11:45 a.m. as price was inching up and up, I said I'm going to leave some orders right there with a stop above 73.50. That's it. It got hit over the last several hours, or the last 12 hours or so. We had a big drop off in price. Now we're about $600 in a profit, or $500 or so. Okay, so point is understanding when to get out of a bad trade, understanding when the price could be turning around the other direction again, and then sort of realizing what the larger play is. These are all things that we teach in the Advantage community. Okay, all these updates that you see, folks, I put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. Even Saturdays and Sundays, I do these videos for our Advantage members, okay? On the weekends, I don't really do free videos. It's all about the Advantage members, and the evening analysis, all about the Advantage members. Even the trade setups, okay, all about the Advantage members, okay? If you're good at something in life, right, make people pay for it, all right? I know what I'm good in life, and it is that I'm good at analysis, I'm good at trading, I'm good at explaining to people why we're making certain strategic decisions. More importantly, I'm good at my discipline and risk management, okay? You could be the best, analyst, and you could have an amazing strike rate, but you could be a shit trader. It's just a fact, all right? But in this particular instance, what we do very well is be able to manage our risk, all right? Know when to get out of our bad trades, like I showed you right there, negative 0.4% loss, and then get into good trades when the technicals line up. All right. So with that being said, what is out there for us today? Okay. Excuse me. So one thing is, this particular instance right here, what this tells me what happened here is that this was really a downside movement from over here. All right. Over here, I think this right here was a trap set up for the bulls. Okay. I got to be honest. I don't know how else to look at it. Maybe the bears sort of pulled away their sell walls right here and got the bulls trapped as prices moved up. And then, price obviously consolidated here for a couple hours and then tanked and tanked and tanked. All right. Alternatively, if you start looking at the futures markets as well, right around that same time, the price actually, the price aggressively tanked. Okay. Yesterday on its open. So it's very possible that, Bitcoin obviously may have moved the way it did due to the S&P 500 E-mini futures, okay? So it's very possible that, now we're effectively following, again, the futures for the S&P 500 as market opens again. Who knows, we might sell off some more, okay? Now, here's the thing, okay? If you're sitting on your hands and you don't know what to do, all right, this is what you could consider. Number one, all right, if price starts to break above this area right here, it's only let's just say a quick wick, like it does something like this, and then it starts breaking down again, this is potentially your short with a stop, maybe up here, or if you want a deeper stop, you could keep it up here, okay? Again, not financial advice, just what I would do. Again, I'm already in my short from 71.65, so I got no worries for now, right? So is a lot of our community. We're short from 71.65. But if you want to long, okay, and you think prices are going to go back up, I mean, this is the best place to long. You've already had a big drop. You had a consolidation right here. You could have your stop just down here, and you could start targeting all of these black markers on the way up, and all the way as high as 71.65, which is the yearly open. Okay. Personally, I don't think that Bitcoin price action is going to go up here. But again, anything could happen, right? Get it. Market's been incredibly choppy lately, and there are no sure things in the market so far. All right. However, if we start looking at the bigger picture of number one, this descending trend line, number two, this yearly open rejecting us, and number three, this big ascending channel that we broke down from, okay, we can look at this as, all right, well, it looks like we've already started our descent, our breakdown, okay? So it makes sense that price action from here on should start breaking down, okay? It doesn't have to, again, it should. If it doesn't, like I said, if it starts reclaiming inside this range, like it starts getting back up here and starts holding like this and starts going up like this, that would be the area where you could also consider longing, or you could even get out of your short position, okay, if you do open one right now, all right? So that's one way of looking at it, okay? Daily candle, yesterday's daily candle was ugly, all right? That was the ugly candle right there, tapped the yearly open, and today's candle looks pretty bearish so far, all right? What we really want to see is today's daily candle. I would love to see, let's see, if I get a close below that area right there, okay, this wick right here around 65.71, I would feel pretty darn good about that, okay? If I get a close below that wick, I'd probably say we're probably, headed down towards 6,200 or so, okay? And the way I come up with 6,200 is we start zooming out a little bit, just say 4 hour right there. Here's that 6,200 marker, which was, previous SR right there, previous SR level. As you can see, 6,200's right there as a resistance, chop right there, resistance right there, support right there, and then we push on up, right? So it's very possible that we come down here to that level, okay? Alternatively, what we saw effectively happening in the advantage side was we were seeing this development of the head and shoulders pattern like this, okay? So I would probably say that the head and shoulders has pretty much been validated given the fact that we've sort of pierced through that neckline like that. Now we just want to see follow through, okay? Over the next 24 hours, 48 hours, we want to see more follow through to the downside, kind of like that, okay? If we don't see that, like I said, we have potential long setups, okay? Or setups to get out of our shorts. Yesterday, a deal was reached for OPEC, all right? I think Russia, Saudi Arabia, Mexico were all cutting oil. Here's my thoughts on oil, okay? If we start going to the daily time frame, I'm personally of the opinion that I still believe that oil is still a bit overvalued because there's still a demand shock, meaning that people are not moving around. Airlines, by and large, are still down 50 to 70% of their global traffic. Cruise lines, same thing. People are just not moving, right? They're not consuming oil, okay? They're just sitting in their houses, staying on lockdown. They're not really using oil, okay? Number two, all right, supply is in excess, okay? Supply is in excess because Russia and Saudi Arabia kept pumping. So did many other countries, right? So we have too much oil right now. The one thing that's going up right now in oil is oil tankers because you have to store the oil, okay? But other than that, oil prices, I think, are still overvalued. I think the yesterday's OPEC deal was pretty much factored into the price of oil. Personally, I would probably like to see oil in the mid to low teens. So let's just say anywhere between $16 and $13 is my sweet spot for oil. So we'll see if it gets there. Now, if that happens to oil, what does that mean for the equity markets? Well, oil is a big part of global GDP. Oil rigs shut down, people lose jobs. Oil is a big part of most economies, okay? And if that happens, the S&P 500 or equities will probably start to sell off. aside from that, equities are already looking a bit topped off. You know, this is your typical abandoned baby pattern. Again, we went over this analysis on equities in our Sunday update. Please go watch that. We put in a lot of time in our equities updates, folks. This gives you an understanding of the landscape of what's happening in the US stock market and economy. Okay, we even actually looked at the global economy a little bit. So watch this, learn something, and then you'll get an understanding of the landscape of how crypto is looking. Remember, no matter how much you love Bitcoin, no matter how much you love crypto, it will not be immune to any recessive environment. It's just a fact. Okay, it's a risk-on asset, very speculative asset. It will probably get torched and sold off just like it did in March when it dropped like a rock like this, right? When it dropped so significantly, when equity sold off right here, that was your first sign of understanding that Bitcoin, number one, is significantly, at least not overvalued, but rather, I guess you could say overvalued, or rather, it's just an asset that's not sought out in environments that have liquidity crises or environments with, recessions or, tough financial times looming ahead, okay? So Bitcoin just does not fare well in those markets. And it will not fare well, especially if we start talking about, recessions or depressions and equities sell off some more, okay? So the fact of the matter is, Bitcoin is where it is, right? $6,700. Chances are it's probably gonna drop some more, okay? Especially if equities sell off. The rest of this week is very important to watch in terms of the S&P 500 and US equities. Futures are already opening up negative, okay? Not significantly negative, but negative nonetheless. Global markets were pretty much wishy-washy, like 50% of the companies in Asian markets or 50% of the indices in the Asian markets were positive, some were negative. European markets, somewhat positive, okay? So, actually, I'm sorry, this is the April 9th. I guess European markets are about to open soon. No, actually today's Easter, so European markets are actually closed, okay? America is actually open today, okay? So that means we get to see exactly how America reacts, come today. All right, so it's gonna be a lot of interesting stuff. All right, let me see here. Let's see if there's anything else I need to talk about. Oh yeah, weekly chart. Very ugly weekly closing. Very ugly. Not a single candle has closed above the yearly open on the weekly chart. Yesterday's weekly closing right there, the one that closed from last week. This is basically your gravestone doji, evening star, whatever you want to call it. And if this weekly closes bearish, then get ready for more of a sell-off. Okay, if we're looking for more of a sell-off, like I've said, I would expect at the very least $6,200. $5,900 is definitely not out of the question. I would probably say prices could get all the way down to $2,400. Okay, but we have a lot of levels in between. Like I said, 6,200, 5,900, this low right here, 5,000, and then of course this daily level right here around 4,000, where these candles open and close. Okay, this is probably a strong area right here because you can even see this wick right here comes all the way down here. So $4,400. That's a big area that we need to watch. Okay, but again, that's a $2,300 drop from where we are. Quite a significant drop. All right, so be careful in this market. Listen to people who are actually willing to give you good analysis, unbiased analysis, where they just don't constantly keep saying that Bitcoin has to go up to 10,000. The halving is coming up. They don't know shit. Okay, they're not looking at the macro picture of the markets. These are people, honestly, who started to learn how to trade like in 2017 or 2018. When prices of Bitcoin were so volatile and everyone was making money, right? It was so easy to make money back then, but I guarantee you a lot of them have lost 70, 80, 90% of their money, and they now effectively give out free advice to traders who don't really know any better. Okay, and it's sad because I get to see this on a daily basis. People who join our community who are coming from other communities where they lost a lot of money. All right, like I said before, we're not the community that's going to guarantee that you're always going to make money. What we'll do is we'll give you the learning experience, the discipline, the understanding of how to trade these markets. Okay, and of course, there's going to be a lot of trades that we make right. Clearly, like I just showed you earlier, right? Here's our trade with a small loss versus a pretty big gain. We lost a trade with $30. We captured a trade that's now $500 in profit. Okay, so that's the difference, right? The difference between good traders and shitty traders is, one, the good traders always know when to cut their losses short, and two, the good traders know how to wait patiently, wait for the next trade, and execute. Okay, we don't just have a bias of Bitcoin is going to go to 10,000. If that's the case, right? I mean, why do you need to trade? Why don't you just buy, hodl, and go do something else, right? But if you're really willing to trade and understand these markets, this is the community for you. We have multiple markets that we trade, as you can see. Crypto is a big one. Equities, Facile provides a daily update on what's happening. Every Sunday, we provide a deep breakdown of what's happening in the equity markets. And you can see his updates, right? Very well thought out, very important updates, okay? So, aside from that, I mean, obviously we have Forex updates too. Here's our Forex trade too, right? We lost that on a 0.65% loss right there on dollar yen, okay? The other trade that we're looking at is Aussie dollar, right? We're looking to short the Aussie dollar, okay? Other trades that have worked out before, okay? Here's a fantastic couple of trades that worked out for us, all of which were in profit. Dollar CAD, Canadian dollar, dollar yen, dollar ZAR, which is South African rand, Aussie dollar right there, okay? All profitable trades last week, all right? So yes, we have losing trades. Yes, we have winning trades. We just need to make sure our losing trades are small, our winners are big. That's it, all right? And then we have the oil channel right here, as well as options, okay? So tons of analysis, folks, all right? If you really want to learn, come join. Like I said before, we're keeping our prices low until May 5th, and then after that, we're going to start raising up membership fees to $125. Currently, prices are $97 for crypto, equities, options, oil, and Forex. We think about the amount of information that you're getting, the amount of markets that we cover for $100 a month. All right, so join now, get grandfathered into the current prices, the discounted prices, $97 per month versus the $125 that we'll have starting May 5th. All right, y'all take care, keep your stops tight, and just have fun, and don't lose your shirt. All right, cheers.